Okay, here's another split road. And this is a dead end. So I'm just gonna go to the end and just never been here. Never been on this side. I'm planning on doing all these roads eventually, because I keep going to the same spot. I keep going to the same spots, same spot. Sometimes you see deer, sometimes you don't. But you have to investigate the rest of it. The deer don't just go through one area, they go through different areas. So it's good to know the conditions. That area over there that we just came from, it looked good, but it was very steep for me. Imagine getting a deer up to the road at 60-degree incline. That's a killer. It's got to be with somebody else. Here's a nice spot, open area. Wow, I think I've been here a long time ago. I don't know, I've been to so many places. It looks kind of familiar. This is nice. And like I said, these are the areas I'm going to be doing with the quad, because it's too noisy coming in with the camper truck. I got one of the clamps that didn't attach because it was kind of frozen, and I said, well, I'll do it later, let it settle. And now it's swinging around, making squeaky noises. It's better with the quad. You come in quiet, and then you can walk the rest of the way. Later. Okay, so let's just turn around. There's a nice campsite right there. Just turn around and get back to the main road. I just wanted to get this off the bucket list. Look at all the underbrush. And I tasted them, and boy, they're really bitter. The only way you can hunt this forest here is with a group of people. The more people are moving around, they can push the deer. And maybe you can bump into one, but by yourself, you can walk this whole mountain. You're never going to see a deer because they're going to hear you way before you're going to see them. That's why I like the Monachi Meadow. It's open, it's wooded, but it's the way a forest should be. Sparse. Some places are dense, but mostly it's open. It's a good rifle hunting area. Here, like I said, you're lucky. You're lucky if you see one. This is so packed. it defeats the purpose. I went to Wyoming several times, and Wyoming is pretty open, and they got deer up the yin yang. I saw a doe and two fawns browsing around between cars and a burger joint in Casper. I couldn't believe it. And right next to the road, there were 8 deer, about 100 feet from the road. We stopped and we counted them, and they were just grazing there like nothing. Of course, there were females, not bucks, but at least you see a lot of females. Over here, they're scarce. As scarce as the bucks. So that's why you don't see people here. You need a lot of people to get the deer moving. I also went to Utah. Same thing. Utah, it's got a lot of big bucks, and we went there and we caught a couple of bucks. And Utah also has wooded areas, aspen, pine, and openness. It's got sage, and the deer like to get in there. They bed down in the sage. And from camp, we could sit and watch the deer movement up in the mountain because it was very open. They had some woods, open areas, and the deer were just grazing like normal. So those places are great. This here is becoming to be a waste of time to come to something like this, really. The only reason I got to go out of state anymore is because it's very expensive, and I can't get friends anymore to go hunting that far. It's time consuming, and so people just don't wanna deal with it. The gas in California, it's outrageous. Outrageous. That's why I can only make a couple of trips. You know. Oh, got something loose under there. Gotta check it when I get home. All right. Okay. I come to the end of the road, literally, and I just wanted to see if the Hmong were here hunting. The Hmong are the mountain Vietnamese. They're really tough mountain people, and they're good hunters. So when I was here last time, there were about 15 of them right here camping at that spot where the fire pit is. And they took the whole thing. Now I see that somebody built corrals for some. And there's a bunch of them. There's a whole bunch of them over there. This is all new. There's a bunch here. Down there. So I don't know. There's the cinch posts for horses. So I think that, there's a trail that goes back in to a hot spring. And this is probably where they keep the horses. Now I came to mind. So the Hmong go down that trail, and they get into the forest, and they always come up with deer. They're pretty good hunters, and they're not young. Some of them are old guys, but they hunt. They hunt hard, and they get their game. So here's making a loop. I think there's somebody camping up here, one person only. There's a camping area. They got tables up here, fire pit. someone up here now. You know, they probably went to the hot springs. They're not hunters. So yeah, this is the end of the road up in the way up in the Sierra. This is about 8,600 feet. Okay, let me head back down. I want to go to my friends and then have a burger. I'm looking forward to the burger. I hope that place is not closed. All right, later. I had a great burger. Before that, I passed by my friend's cabin, but he wasn't there. The gate was locked, so I wasn't going to stick around. So I went and grabbed a burger, and now I'm heading home, going down this grade. Here's a beautiful view. This area, a long time ago, it was full of trees that had burned. So now this is the new growth. New little pine trees are popping up here and there. I'm beginning to think that this area is pretty much, you know, I've been working it for 30 years, 35 years. So I want to see if I can find a new area, because all these places I've been going, the forest, with the exception of Monachi, the forest and the rest of the other areas up here, they're too thick. You can't hunt them. You have to be lucky to see a deer in the open, and you can't apply my way of hunting is stalking, stealth stalking, and you need to have a particular type of forest. It's gotta be wooded, but it can't be so dense that you can't see 100 yards. There's no point in that. So I'm gonna start scouting for new areas. I heard about this place that is not too far, and they did get some deers there, so I'm gonna go check it out in a few days. I'm just gonna make a run and be there for a day, look around and see what the possibilities are. And there's people putting up little houses and little shacks and retiring and moving up here. Talk about loneliness. My friend, he plans on retiring at the cabin, and I said, it's a nice cabin, but I said, man, you're gonna get bored to death. There's not even a Home Depot up here. I need to have a store that I can go grab whatever I need, tools, materials for projects. I can't just sit at home. And there's no TV up here either. No cable or no nothing. So it's pretty, there's no signal for phones. You have to have a landline, and that's it. So, yeah, going home, when I clean up, put everything away, go see the old lady, take her out to lunch, go to a nice restaurant, do family stuff, and then next week I'm going to go to the boat if the weather is good and see if I can finish with that engine. I'll see you on the next one. Okay. Here's this horrible mountain. I gotta be stepping on the brakes. Off and on, off and on, off and on. Because this is ridiculous. Let's put it in low gear. If it wasn't for this freaking mountain to come up every time we go into that area, I would have bought a piece of land up there. I've been looking at acreage for years. I just saw a sign that they were selling 2.5 acres. and I took a picture of the number I want to call and get an idea. I could have bought back in the 80s, around 88. That's when the economy went south. I called and I could have bought 10 acres for $5,000. But it's undeveloped. You have to cut the trees, you got to dig the well, you got to make the road, you got to do everything. And I thought about it and I thought about it. But this coming up here, I mean, this is very dangerous. Nobody's going to come and visit. I've been coming up here for a long time, and it's still scary going down. I mean, after what happened that day that I lost the brakes on that Ford, you know, and that this is another reason why I'm considering I'm not coming up here anymore. Maybe not from this side. The other side, it's a little more switchback, but not as steep, and you don't see this huge cliff down here that, my God, you look down there and China is down there. It's on the other side of the world. It's so deep. So you know, my wife didn't want to come up here. She said, no, I don't want to drive up there because and I said, come on, we gotta go. And then she didn't want to come up here. One time that I broke down and she needed to bring me apart, and she was horrified. So I understand. You know, I gotten overheated. The engine's gotten overheated also several times. Until I finally installed a new fan, an electric fan, and I put a new clutch on the fan, on the mechanical. It works with the engine, and that took care of that problem. But still, man, this road, I mean, I'm doing 20, 24, 25, and I have it on second gear. It's you know, people go up, they come up here and they zip by me with the new cars, because the new, you know, the little cars don't weigh nothing. I have a house on top of me, so that's why I gotta go easy and can't overheat the brakes. Yeah, there's another vehicle coming up here. All right, let me turn off. I gotta concentrate. I gotta concentrate on this driving. All right, bye. Well, I disrobed and I put on my street attire. There's this. There are the mountains. Driving by, and nobody would have thought that back there's so much forest. But to get to it, man, that road, that's not an easy road. So we're at the bottom of the. These are the volcanic rocks in the distance, and roughly about 2 miles up, there's a marker on an Indian village that they will live there during the winter, and that's the village that I was talking about. They will go up the mountain for the summer, and before the real cold hit, they will burn areas, and then as they leave, they start burning areas, and they will go down to the mountains and stay for the winter in the desert. And there was some water back there, and then when they came up in the spring, all that burnt area had already growth coming up, and there were deer grazing, so they were almost guaranteeing catching a good hunt to catch a deer. That was the thought out of you know, out of the whole thing. That was the idea, and yeah, they did that year after year, and the forest kept changing, and new growth and new trees burn down the old, burn down the sick and the fallen and the rotten, and the forest always renewal. But now, since we can't cut, burn, or anything, there's so many trees on the ground rotting is ridiculous. All right, enough of that. All right, I'm gonna get ready to go home. I have a 5-hour drive. It's almost 2 o'clock now, so I'll probably get home about, depending on traffic, maybe 6. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next one. I forgot, I took the highway, but I forgot I air down, so I have to air up. So I'm bringing him up to 75 pounds. Let's see what this one's doing. What is that? 60? 60, I already did the front door, the front tire. It's gonna give you the best mileage. Now, I calculated the mileage when I came in, and I don't know about the weight I have on me, but I'm doing 11.35 per gallon. Considering the weight that I'm carrying, and it's an old truck with an old V8, nothing fancy, I think it's doing good. The Blazer used to give me 15 and it didn't have none of no weight on it except the gear. So the truck is doing pretty good. I think without the camper I can probably get 18 out of it. So yeah, let's see what kind of mileage we're gonna get on the way back. All right, later. So I forgot to show the compressor. Harbor Freight, Pittsburgh, single cylinder, and from there it reaches all the way to the back tire. And I'm gonna time it when it gets to 70. It hasn't been a minute yet. If you got one of those air compressor that plugs into the lighter, the cigarette lighter, go ahead and throw that away. That does not have the power. You have to connect directly to the battery like I have here. That's the way to do it. And the compressor will do the rest. I paid $80 for it, and I knew it was going to come in handy because I had one that it was the one that goes in the lighter, and it would take me, I'm not exaggerating, it would take me 10 minutes per tire. Of course, I had 36-inch tires, so from 26 pounds to 36 pounds, it would take me 10 minutes, almost 15 minutes. I got rid of that. It was too old, and so I went and got this one. And this one, it does it in a few minutes. Right now, it's going to be in a full minute and 10 seconds, and already went up 15 pounds. So that's pretty good. Okay, it's been a minute. So let's see. I had it at 50. It's at 60, almost 65, no, 70. So in a minute and a half, it's going to go up to 75, from 50 pounds to 75 pounds. That's not shabby. Now there's more expensive ones that have the double tank and the double compressor, and some of them have a little tank to it. $80 is enough for me. Let me see, where are we? Yeah, a few more pounds and we're done. Okay, so the time that it took to pump from 50 pounds to 75 pounds, which is 25 pounds, it took 2 minutes and 35 seconds. So 2.5 minutes. That's not bad for an 80. $80 compressor. It's very good. I'm pretty satisfied with it, even though it's Chinese. Everything in Harbor Freight is Chinese, but it does the job, and that's all you care. That's all you care about. All right, everything is done. Now let's see what kind of mileage we're gonna get. 278. I got about 3/4 tanks until the next stop. This place has the gas for $4.59. The other place has it for $4, 60 cents cheaper. So I will fill up over there, because I had a half a tank, and I say I don't remember if it's gonna take me more than half a tank, but let me just put a few gallons. So I put $20 worth, which is basically five gallons. It's ridiculous, man. All right. Ooh, that's a huge hole. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one until I gas up again. All right, bye.